Hi, I'm Megan Bradford,
I'm Ivan Cuervo.
And I'm Cameron Camacho.
and we're doing Tunnel Vision by Kodak Black.
Hi, I'm Cameron Camacho, and I'll be talking about biographical criticism. The aspects of the author's life that impact the song are his mother having an obvious heavy influence on the way he acts today, and the importance of her in his life, as well as the time spent in the system, or prison. This can be seen when he references that most of these against him want him to be back in prison or worse. Kodak Black is quoted as saying, "I just always be myself no matter who I'm around." This statement is also relevant to the title of the song, Tunnel Vision, which directly implies that he blocks out all of those around him who do not want him to succeed. The author's main concerns are his ability to strive and succeed no matter what. He does not want to be a victim of his circumstances. He embraces the struggle and he uses that to take himself to new heights, and he wants to prove that to those who do not believe in him. Well, Kodak, they hate to see you in a foreign. They miss you when you was in that Yoda kicking door. This quote perfectly displays his foes' animosity towards him, implying that his opponents would rather see him in a beater car than a foreign and considerably more expensive car. The author relates back to his past. "I'm thug to the bone, but I'm still her baby boy." Speaking about his past, growing up in public housing and during the life that accompanied that, such as poverty and crime. Now that he has Now that he has seen success, he is showing that he is not forgetting about his mother who was always there for him in tough times. His early life has clearly influenced his work. The main character in this work seems to be the author's mother, an obvious important influence on his life and whose words still resonate with her son even in great success and fame. The worldview that is prevalent to the author now is a postmodern worldview where we see social progress and distrust to more traditional narratives. The author conveys his worldview through this journey from seemingly nothing to a wealthy, successful person. The notion of breaking down traditional social barriers to reach success in the author's main theme in this work, and the author heavily accepts this worldview, as it is a description of how he gained his success and his life story. The author, Kodak Black, has blown up in popular culture, especially within the rap community. He's not only a Florida rap icon, but is seen to be one of the most influential rappers in the entire South. He has kept the traditional South sound, but brought a new and refreshing twist to it to make it his own. He shows people they can break free from the norm while staying to trust those who came before. I have a huge drive. I was born with nothing, so I always brought up like go get it, no matter what. Kodak Black. This quote, where the author was discussing the work, describes exactly what the main idea of the work is. Stay focused to no matter what and get it done no matter the circumstances you were in. And now on to Megan Bradford.
Hi, my name is Megan Bradford, and I'm going to be discussing Tunnel Vision by Kodak Black through the perspective of the feminist criticism. So, when we talk about the feminist criticism, we first kind of want to distinguish and define masculinity in comparison to feminism. So, with masculinity, it has actually adhered to many different shapes and forms as time has evolved and progressed. Even now, it takes many different roles dependent upon whom you're talking to. In rap culture, the culture with which Kodak Black is actually trying to identify with, being masculine means not showing any effort or care towards anything other than the rap game. This unfortunately entails the demoralization and belittling of women, as in rap culture they are intended to accentuate their sexuality and submit to rappers. Kodak Black is no stranger to this lifestyle, as he prides himself on getting any girl he wants, whenever he wants, and in turn stimulating his masculinity and his dominance. Now, my partner Leia and I are going to relay a couple very specific examples from the song in which Kodak very blatantly demoralizes and demeans women. One of the first themes we noticed when analyzing this song through the feminist critique was that there's a dominant presence of male superiority and female submission. One example of this from the lyrics is Kodak says, "Need me a little baby who can listen. Girl, I don't want to be the one you iggin." Now, iggin actually is a slang for ignoring. So with that, we can kind of see that Kodak does not want to be the one who's being ignored, because being ignored would mean they're the one who was not dominant in that situation. They were the one who was no longer in the power seat, and the ball was no longer in their court. With that, that is how he establishes his dominance. And if a female has the ball in her court, then he is not considered masculine. The next theme we noted was that women were made out to be objectified, easily attained objects with no distinguishable qualities. We see that with the lyric, "I get any girl I want, any girl I want." Actually, a fun fact, at a rap concert, the lyrics were actually, "I get any girl I want, I don't gotta rape." However, in 2016, Kodak actually faced rape charges, and shortly after changed the lyrics, most likely to avoid any other sort of controversy. The next thing we found was that women are only needy damsels in distress who require male saviors. An example of this was the line, "She want me to save the day, but I ain't got a cape," meaning she wants him to be the hero that you see typically in fairy tales, but he doesn't have time to be the hero nor the care, because women are just objects to them. However, save the day also is in reference to save the date as in marriage. Therefore, this could also mean that a female was intending to have a serious commitment. However, Kodak's masculinity was too fragile for monogamy. After all, why would he want to commit to one woman when he views women as interchangeable, expendable machines intended to satisfy their male dominant counterpart? Like a child with a shiny new toy, once they grow tired, they want the next. And that's how females are portrayed in this song. Their roles are to do as they're told, when they're told, and submit. The final theme we found was that women are made to cooperate and serve as interchangeable objects of sex. We saw this through the line, "I told that baby to come over 'cause I'm effing horny." Yeah, real classy, Kodak Black. He did not ask her to come over, he told her to come over. We can clearly see that this is by no means a request, but a demand that is expected to be complied with. As Kodak previously stated, he need a bit who gon' cooperate. On another note, the character females are portrayed to have in this song are fragile and demeaning. Women are never referred to as women, females, or even girls. Instead, they're referred to as bi, which is short for bitch, and by definition meaning a female dog, or little baby, treating women as if they're children and need to be disciplined or handled. As if the most literal and prominent references to women in the song weren't enough to impede upon the gender equality strides women have desperately tried to make, the pet names certainly did. However, one thing I did find interesting, and also somewhat of a common denominator among other rappers, is the utmost reverence that they have for their mothers. Many rappers speak of never even having known their fathers, with the mother serving as both roles. For a rapper to have this much respect for such an important influence, it's quite ironic how they talk so down upon other women who aren't their mothers. Kodak refers to his mom repeatedly in his song Tunnel Vision, alluding to him listening to her advice of making a decision, meaning choose his future or the streets. And he chooses to keep a tunnel vision and focus on his career. In the second verse, he claims that he's thugged to the bone, but still his mom's baby boy. Therefore, despite his arrogance towards all other women, the mother serves as his biggest fan and someone he holds a little higher than himself. Thank you for listening to my feminist criticism, and now on to the Marxist critique.
Hello, I'm Armin Cuervo, and this is Leia, and I'm doing the Marxist criticism for Kodak Black's song Tunnel Vision. We know that literally Tunnel Vision is referencing his focus on his rap career. However, after having watched the music video, we saw that the song's true intentions are politically influenced. In this music video right here, there are various components of Black Power. To begin with, Kodak is standing in front of a burning cross with a Klan knight in the background hanging. Lynching, as we know, was one of the most common deaths by the KKK to African Americans before civil rights movement or the abolishment of slavery.
Metro on that beat. I pull that they don't like to see you winning. They wanna see you in a penitentiary. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you again. My mama told me, boy, make a decision. Right now I gotta keep a tongue.
This is ironic in the sense that it empowers the ideal of Black Power. In the video, there is also a white male wearing a Make America Hate Again hat. in a Confederate vest. This proves Kodak's intention and theme for the remainder of the video, his political standpoint as an individual, and his active support for the Black Power movement. The KKK was the name of a movement that has a political ideology of a neo-Confederate white supremacy and white nationalism, amongst others. Klan violence worked to suppress black voting. They were known for their terroristic threats and violent behavior. The burning of the Latin cross was used as a form of symbolism and with a tone of intimidation. The Confederate States of America was proclaimed nation of 11 slave states of the United States from 1861 to 1865, whose regional economy was mostly dependent on agriculture, in particular cotton, and a plantation system that relied on African American slaves. The Trump campaign, during the president elections, had a very questionable and provocative comments towards the African American community. For example, their campaign had such comments like, their neighborhoods were war zones, they struggle to get by on food stamps, and they see nothing but failure around them. In Kodak's music video, he depicts a white male that falls under these two categories, and Kodak also rapping in front of the burning cross. Lil Kodak quotes, "Lil Kodak, they don't want to see you winning, they want to see you in a penitentiary." In this quote, he is talking about white male and how they suppress African Americans in their community. Furthermore, Kodak stresses his lack of trust towards white males and his awareness of not wanting him to succeed. He states, "Everything be good till you're doing better than them. They want to see you shot or see you in the system, and all y'all out here like snake venom." He's expressing his distrust again and how he feels victimized. When he talks about being in the system, he's referring to him being in prison. And what we can speculate by his line of being shot may be an outcry to many unjust deaths from police officers to African Americans in recent history. Or he could simply be stating that they want to see him die by someone else's hands. He also states, "Lil Kodak, boy, they want to see you in the foreign. They miss you when you was in that Yoda kicking indoors." He feels prideful of his ascendance in society, from robbing houses to driving foreign cars. Overall, there is a tone of pride in his lyrics and a highlight of Black Power, a drive for success against his own racial stereotype. Finally, we can see the fight between the black male and the white male end, which was a fight that had been going on throughout the whole video. He is choking the white male with the American flag, which has a lot of forms of symbolism. Maybe it has a form of symbolism towards Black Power, but at the end, a little girl comes out and yells, "Stop." This could mean that Kodak wants a brighter future for America other than the racial tensions that are going on right now.